Afternoon folks, it's time for some more development, and the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to check the output on a patch or a minor that covers two different things. Okay, so we are going to place a minor here. Okay. Then that's interesting. So we're going to stop that, and then we're going to go to temp buildings, and this that's not going to make any okay, we'll save that. That was a bit weird. I think that was to do with last night when I was changing the size of the placement thing. Okay, so we'll try that again. Okay. And we're going to do that. And we're going to do that. Then we're going to select that. And the interesting thing is what's going to come out of there. Alright, and apparently we have nothing. Okay. Recipe outs. We have two. Copper ore, nothing. Bauxite, nothing. Right. So we want to look at our miner. So if we come to here, okay. That's false. Okay. Wait a minute. Right, so that's not right. No, that's actually okay. Right. So we'll do that again. Right. Okay. Right. We're going to well, actually, you know what we're going to do here? Going to step over, step over, step over. Then we're doing this. Quantity equals -2. Actually, that was originally right. Okay, so that was originally correct. So I'm a bit of a fool there. Let's me get a drink of my coffee. Right. So do that. Resume that. Join that up. And there we go. We're getting two different things there. So that's actually working okay. We should get like a mixture of the two different things. Right, depending what it actually mines. If we speed it up a bit. And there we go. Cool. So that's actually working perfectly. Now, with this coming in, this should be an interesting thing. Right. So we should have a comp input. Oh, we didn't set this actually. Now the problem here, of course, is the fact that we're using the bauxite, right? But we ain't using the copper ore. But it is working as expected right now. Right. So in theory, this copper ore would just be lost, right? Now, whether or not we want to do that or not, I'm not sure, but the thing would be, or the other way to do it, is that this becomes full of copper ore, right? And then just basically blocks up and tells it not to send anymore. But then from there, what we'd have to do is we'd need a way to empty the additional. Okay. But as you can see, this is working absolutely perfectly fine. Okay, so that's cool. So let's see what we're actually dealing with there. We had one, 2, 3 copper to 1 iron, to 1 bauxite, and that's why we were getting so much copper. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. I mean, we could probe this one. And this would obviously give us all bauxite. Bauxite, 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 bauxite. Right, we can save that. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So basically the next thing is, I'm thinking we need more, well, we need more tidying up of this, that's for sure. Right, but I don't believe we need this. Or maybe we do. But, oh, I don't know if you guys will hear this or not, so this might not be very good for you. So I might have to do this offline, but I downloaded a set of sound effects, interface sound effects. Right, now let's see if I can switch this on for you guys. Right, that's not doing it. Well, it's not doing it. But let me just see if I can set this up. Right, we'll go with that. Okay, let's see if you guys hear this or it jumps. Did you guys hear that? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so for two reasons, right? Because we've already got footsteps for our little dudes down here who should start running. Right, so there you go. So what I was thinking was of adding some sound effects when I hit a button, right? So we were going for some sort of... Right, I can't hear that. Well, that's not ideal, is it? If you guys can hear it, but I can't. No, it would appear you guys can't hear that either. Oh, that's because I've not got it stopped. What an idiot. Right, we need a... That's too long. Too stupid. Too much like a gun. Right, okay, whatever. Right, let's go for a pop. Don't know why they did that, they could just change the tone. Just change the frequency of that. Hi Mo, you working so on this game? Yes I am. I just need a click. I don't know why I'm being so pernickety about this. I just want a blooming click for now. Right, flick switch. That's... Yeah, we like that. Flick switch 01. Right, so flick switch 01Q. Right, cool. We'll live with that. So if we go to our UI and we'll go to game, main game menu, right, and then we'll go to button, right, and then graph, and then designer. Go away, nasty thing. Right, so where's it on clicked? Where's it on clicked? I'm taking it. Right, on clicked view. Right. So actually, we're back to here. Ah, why is it bringing up that sequencer all the time? Right, let's see. Clip in, localization. Right. Where is... Right, apparently there isn't a play sound on this at all, which is brilliant. Damn it. Okay, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. That's no problem. We don't care. We can take it. We can take this crap. Right, play. We might do some mucking around with this actually at some point. Play sound to the right, and then what we'll do is we'll basically say click. We'll just say Q click. Right. And it's going to be a sound cue. And we're only going to give it the one. We don't want to do like multiple or do some fancy stuff, so it's fine. Right, so this was what it was click. It wasn't back click. And it wasn't a futuristic click or a musical click, so it must have been click something. Right. Now, why didn't I remember what that one was called? That's because... Right. I think it was just this one. I think it was just click one, wasn't it? Certainly not coins. Certainly not. Was it a flick? Yeah, it was flick switch. Right, so I can go in there. Save that. Right, so now going to do that as normal, as UI sound, yes. We're going to do player options for this and have them set. So Q click goes in here. Right. So press play, go with that. Right, that's fine. So we'll stop that. Then we shall go into the hotbar. What was that Q click called again? It was flick switch, right. Okay, flick switch it is. Hotbar, here we come. Hotbar can be flick switch as well. I just want to get some sounds in because it's not exactly very exciting. Right, a hotbar. And it ain't actually that, it's actually building, it's this one here, and we go to graph, and we're going to have to do it in here anyway, right? So just to play sound 2D, right? So we'll just reset this over to here, then we'll do that in there. we'll just select it here, flick switch 01, save that. Right, then we'll copy this. Did we copy that? I think we did. Right, and then this now goes in. If we go back to here, that's building menu, individual connector button. And this is basically the same thing but slightly different. And we need the event graph. On clicked. Paste that. As I said, I just want some sort of sound so that you guys can hear some sort of sound, because at the moment it's not really making any kind of sound whatsoever. So at least with the menus are kind of making a bit of sound, then at least that's something. I can load in the epic music, then we can take a look at that, right? But at the moment, right, we can click on that. That's not going to do anything, but that's fine. Right, and that's cool, right? And we can start adding some sounds, right? And I think what we'll do here is, right, let's go to here and here. And we shall go to library, okay, and we'll go down to our assets, right, and I think is it epic music something or other. No, it's not epic music something or other. Right, so we'll say music, mega game music collection, right? So we'll go in here and we shall add this to our project, and I think this is about half a gig. Oh my god, it's 7.9 gig. Okay, we're deleting a lot of this stuff. Immersive dark ambient music. Could add that as well, eh? Then we could just take our pick. Couldn't see it for looking at it. Right, well, I guess 7 gigs is going to take a minute or two. Right. Now, the funny thing is, we do have the sound for drones. Okay, we've kind of copied it from somewhere, but I need to sort of splice it up a bit. Right, and then kind of put it on repeat or something. So there's that. And the next thing is, let's tidy this up a bit. Alright, and that's obviously going to take a long while. We're at 1.5 gig. Right, so we're banging this down as fast as we can here. And I'm not sure what to do next. I can give you guys a look at how the game is looking so far. I can do that. What we'll do is we shall say new. In fact, what we'll do is we'll say load game, right? Now we've got one called drone in mine 5, right? So we'll add a new game and we'll call it tester. Okay, that. Right, and then we can test out. Right, so we've got some stuff there. Right, so what we're going to actually, you know, what we're going to do is we're gradually going to work through this, and we're going to, so when you do the probe and then you click on a square, we're going to play our sound again, right? So we need to go where we were, which is actually down here, right, to main game menu and button, and we are doing probe, and that does nothing apparently. Yeah, we've got all that, mate. Right, I'm gonna let you see it, right? But we do want to do the probe thing. Right, the probe thing comes down here, goes in here, but we're not doing anything. But we are actually doing something, but I just need to find out where we actually do it about. Right, what it basically does is it turns it into probe mode, which then gives us a grid position. Right, so if we, right, forget that, let's show you something while this is downloading. Right, so what we'll do is continue. Right, now the reason they didn't save there, that's actually luck that that came back up there, because I didn't actually save that position. Right, so what we'll do is we'll probe, and then we'll find out, and this was probably a bad idea as well. But we'll get the idea. Right, so that's copper, and that's not really what we want at this point. Right, now you start off with one probe, by the way. Right, it's just I'm doing this to be a bit faster and testing basically. So if I do that, then that, now the maximum we should get is 3. Okay, 4. Oh yeah, we might get 4, because this goes a distance of 2. Right, so the bit I've been working on lately is the miner sitting on top of different types of ore. Right, this is bauxite, so this is kind of what we want. Right, and then what we can do is we can stick a refiner here. yeah, let's see here. Then a smelter here. Then a fabricator here. Then a researcher here. Right, and then if we spin these around, this makes it all much easier for me. And then I'll show you how you set this up. Right, so first of all, we're going to do some research. Okay, oh wait a minute, I'll tell you what we'll do in the meantime. I'll do that. Right, we're going to research, and what we're going to do is we're going to research mining. Okay, so we just click there and it says researching, right? And this is set up in a very simple way, that basically we need to make iron sheets, right? So we set this up, bauxite gets turned into iron ore, right? So we selected this to make iron ore. Hi Zara Shy, hello, how are you? Then we set this up to make iron sheets, right? And then we set this up to make research flasks. And this is going to turn the research flasks into our research. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is build our miner. So we can put our miner there, right? And now what we can do is we can connect right, these have got an amount of time it takes before they become active. There is a reason for that. Notice how this probe is still set. Right, so I'm going to need to do something with that. So as soon as I set probe, I switch it off again. Right, now that's weird. Right, and that's super weird. Because this is not... Right, so this is bizarre. Right, so if I do this, like I can join these up, right? Forget about the little extra bits, that just needs a bit of tidying up, but that can come later. Right, but the fact of the matter is that this, right, is joined up. And now I should be able to join up the miner, but the miner is not lighting up. Right, which is a bit of a bummer, but I can save that. And this isn't even highlighting. Right, so right, there should be a little bit of time before these become actually available. Right. Something weird going on here. How come these aren't showing up? What's going on? It's really weird. Right, let's build something else, right? Let's build a storage container. Right, see how that's... I can do that. But I can't... Whoa. What? What? Well, that's weird. Right, okay, whatever. Yeah, but that's not lighting up that. But I think that's because of this. Right? So I'm going to right click on that. And notice now I can't, this isn't lighting up. It's as if I'm stuck in the wrong mode. Right, so we're going to stop that and play it again. There's something going on. This was all working right, but I've obviously done something that's making this a bit weird. Right, there's something going on. So there's obviously something that's resetting this. Right, so that these light up again. So when I build something, it's obviously getting set back to a specific mode. Right, so if I do that, then you'll notice that this lights up, right? And then what I can do is I can join that up and right, I kind of know what the problem is here. Or do I? And this is all to do with the fact that this is to do with saving, right? It's not resetting itself back up properly. It's got the conveyor out, but you'll notice it's got no overlapping minerals, right? So that's why that didn't work. Now, I didn't save that. So in theory, I should be able to do another one. I should be able to like probe to there. And you'll notice that these are all lighting up again, right? Which is bizarre. Well, it's not really bizarre, but strange how that wasn't working before. Right, this is just going to take a little bit of time to get it all back into kind of the way it should be again, because I have been messing about quite a lot with the probes and the miner. Right, so I'm kind of not surprised it's not 100% working yet. Where it was 100% working before. But you'll notice that, right, I'll show you, right, see how these are actually showing? These minerals are showing, right? Well, you'll notice when I actually build another miner, they'll disappear, because I don't want to see them under the miner, right? So you'll see there that these are the right thing, bauxite. Right, I'm going to have to do another probe so that I can do these ones as well. Right, so I'll let them fly and return to base. Then I'll do that. I'll launch that. Right, and we'll test this, and if it's working, then it should start pumping out bauxite. Right, so these are turning to bauxite. There we go. So the next thing we do is we build a miner, right? And you'll notice that they disappear, right? Which is exactly what we want. Then we go to our conveyor belt, right? And we do this. Okay, and here we go, and they start pumping stuff out. Now what I can do here is, yeah, it says researching. Now there can be a bit weird stuff going on here, especially with it saving, and depending on when I save it and how much I've updated saving. But what I've done is I've added more workers, so we should start getting more stuff out, right? And then what I can do is I can speed it up, time dilation. Okay. So what you've seen there is a couple of these getting created, right? And then you'll start to see these get created, right? And then if we move along to here, this isn't quite so great because the lighting makes the iron sheets look like they're copper, but there goes one, right? So yeah, this actually needs to go a bit higher anyway, so that you can see the rollers on the bottom as well. But basically now we've got a steady flow, right? Then what's going to happen is they're going to come to here, and these are going to get made into a research flask. Okay, so if we speed this up, right, we're starting to get stuff, right? And there you go, right? And if we look at our research, you'll notice it's at 0 at the moment, right? But hopefully once that's processed, so there's another one there and another one there, and if we look at this now, you can see that this is gradually filling up, right? And you've seen it fill up another little bit there. Now you might be wondering to yourself, well, how do you know how much you're producing? Well, you can hit your graphs button, and it's not working. What? There we go. Right, and there's our research complete for that other one. Okay. And then we can do it for an hour. But obviously we have no data at the moment for that, so that's not going to work. Now our 1 every 10 seconds, I don't know why that's not working. It's possibly due to the time dilation. Right. So I'll do that. Then we'll bring our stats back up. Well, that's weird. That's weird how that isn't working now. Anyway, check that. It's the first time that's happened in a while. Really weird, but anyway. Right, so we've got all this, and another thing you can do is you can actually craft stuff from your inventory. Now this is going to look a bit weird because it's going to come in here, but this was before I had basically done some stuff, so it's a bit big. This was before I put in the hotbar, right? But what you can do is you can basically like craft stuff, right? And as you can see, it goes from crafting into your hand, etc, etc. You can craft buildings, you can craft different things. You can craft the research, etc, etc. And all of that cool stuff. You can drag this stuff into your trash bin if you want. And it already actually done it. Right. You can add like one, or you can right click and add 5, which will add the 5 to it. Now I believe that I had a right click on this that was working, but I believe it might be actually interfering with this. So as I said, I'm probably going to have to move or redesign this a bit. Right, but you can see there that it's doing the old again. I probably need this a different colour, but the general idea of it is working. Don't know why that. Interesting. Right, so this is PCB, or it's actually ammo. Right, so you can see that. And one of the interesting things as well is if you build like a storage container, right, you can actually click on that, right, and then you can put, like if you want it to go onto the thing, you can actually drag, like if you select that, then move them all, then that goes into the storage container. Right, and you can close that. So that now has 5 PCBs in it, so as you can see. Right, then if we go to our inventory again, you'll notice that we don't have any PCBs because obviously we just took them out and put them in the storage container. Right, now the next thing you might be wondering about is this rocket here. Right, now the reason for this rocket is because this rocket actually exists in this world, right? It's just you haven't seen it, and there it's there, right? And the point of the TV screen is to show you when it's landed or when it's taken off, and that's because you can trade with it, right? So when it's on the ground, you're supposed to be able to trade with it, right? Now obviously I've got it set that you can trade with it all the time at the moment, so you can basically hit a button. Don't know why it does that, but anyway, actually I do know why it does that. I do know why it does that. Right, that's because I'm hitting these buttons here, right? Right, so I need to switch off this hotbar while there's another menu open. But anyway, besides the point, so you can basically buy stuff or sell stuff, right? And the idea is that basically you can pick stuff up and sell it, and you buy workers, and then you can apply workers to a building. Right, now I did that earlier by hitting the button a million times, right? That automatically adds them for testing purposes, but under normal circumstances, like workers are going to cost you a fortune, right? So that's how basically I sink the materials out of the game without the player realising it, okay? As well as obviously research and building more and more complex parts and building like rocket launchers and stuff, because if we look up here somewhere, there is a rocket launcher. There, it's there. Right, so you're going to be able to build rocket launchers and laser guns and guns, which is kind of the point of the ammo, and defend yourself, right? So that's kind of an overall look at the game, right? So I think what we'll do is we shall take a break for 2 minutes. If you're enjoying the stream and whatever, then hit the like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel and the game, then check the description. You can join the Discord, there's Patreon, there's my previous game, and you can have a look at that. And I shall be back in 2 minutes. Alright guys, we're back. So I think what we'll do is, well, we're going to check a couple of things first. Right. So the point here is if we bring up a different menu, then we really want to switch anything else off. Right. So basically from there we want to take a look at we're going to have to look at our controller, right? And we're going to have to go to our event graph, and then we're going to need a variable, right? and it's going to have to be hotbar menu active. Okay. And basically we're going to have to check on the hotbar if these things are active or not. Right? And when we open up a menu, we're going to have to set it to inactive. So let me show you, explain the problem here. Right, so if I press continue, right, and if I go down here, right, and let's say I press the inventory button, and then I press 5, right, number 1, it does a weird thing with the resupply ship, and number 2, it also hits the 5 on the hotbar, right? Right, so if I hit 5, you'll notice that I'm not actually pressing anything. In fact, I'll press 6, 7. That gives me the container, right? And so if I press 7, right, it brings up the button. But now that's okay, right, under this circumstance, right? But if I hit I, right, and bring up the inventory, and then I hit 7, it still brings it up. You see? You see how it's behind, but it is there. So what I'm going to have to do is, if we bring up those, if another menu is active, right, then we need to set this. Right, so if we go to our UI and inventory, right, then we go to inventory main, right, this is our inventory, then we go to our graph, right, and then we go to our event graph, and we bring this up, right. Now the thing is, here what we've got, right, is our controller. So we can say hotbar set this to false, right, this might not be a very good name for it, right, and we'll save that. Then what we'll do is we'll copy this, right, and then here we're going to set that, then we're going to get the controller, we're going to plug that in there, then we're going to set that to true, right. We're going to save that, and then we're going to go into our hotbar, and in fact we're not, we're going to go into building menu, and we've got our individual building, no, that's wrong, no, that's right, right, we're going to go in here, and this is the event tick, and this is the click, right? So basically we're going to move this over here a bit, right? And we're going to get the controller, right? And we're going to get hotbar active. Right, now if we look at what we just did, we're setting it to true, right? So if it's true, we do something, and if it's not, we don't, right? So basically we say branch, right? And then what we do is we drag this in, and we say true. Okay. And then we'll right align them, I suppose. We'll save that. Then we'll test it. Continue. Right, so if we go to inventory and then we hit 6, which is the research station, you'll notice it doesn't do anything now. Right, but if we close it and then we hit 6, there you go. Okay, so that's that done. Now the only thing we need to do now is this one plus the connectors. Right, so basically what we do is we copy this, right, and then we go to the connector and we basically plug this in the front, right, and that's that one. And I think we still need to add the hotbar click to the connectors part, right? But we'll worry about that later. The main point is that these are working, right? Now we did copy and paste that, which is fine because we want to attach it also to this button here, right? So that basically we do that and we do that, right? And in fact, no, that's fine. So we'll save all, press play, and now thank you, by the way, Mo, for the kind words. That's kind of you. Right, so basically that took a wee stuttering a bit there because it takes a second to load in all of the resources, right? But fundamentally, if we hit now inventory, we shouldn't be able to hit these buttons here, or at least they shouldn't do anything, which is correct, right? Now what we could do, right, I'm going to show you something, right? What I could do is, if you bring up a window like that, right? Let's say this, right? These could actually disappear, right? I could slide that off the left and slide this down. Okay, now I can actually show you this in action, right? Like so, right? Now if you bring up like a new menu, I could slide that off and then slide this off. And you know what I'm going to do, in fact? right? Because this is weird, right? I'll show you what I mean. Right, see the first time I press the button to slide this off, it disappears and then comes back on. Right, now that's weird. Right. And as I said, I could slide them both off the bottom. Right, let's do that, shall we? Right, let's go to the main menu first. Right, main menu. Right, if we go to the graph, now there is so it's that there, right? Is it because of that? I don't know. It seems to be. Alright, wait a minute. Let's do that. Set end time. Right, let's try this out. And let's see if it does anything different. Nope, does not do anything different. So what I'm going to do, because it's all a bit weird, right, this is setting the whole thing up. That's all fine. Right, that's doing some loopy stuff. Right, so what we're going to have to do is at the end of all this, right, going to do that, then we're going to save it. Right, so that's weird, doesn't it? And it still does the same thing. Right, so I can only assume that this I'm going to try something. Right, I'm going to add, right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to add two custom events, right? We're going to add custom event. Right. and we might change this to 1, but we'll just go for this just now. We'll say show menu anim, right, just to tell us that this is the animation that basically brings it into focus, into the canvas panel, right? And then we'll do another one, right, and we'll say custom, add custom event, right, and we'll say hide menu anim, right, is plain forward, so that's wrong, so that's play animation forward, and that just might be play animation, right? And what we'll do, drag that in the middle, and then we'll say play animation reverse, right? And that's fine, right? And then if we go into FE controller, right, this is it up here, right? So we're just going to say main menu, right, and we're going to delete this, and we're going to say show main menu anim, and then we're going to delete that, and we're going to say hide main menu anim, right? And these might actually end up having to go the other way around, but I want to check this to see how it actually reacts in comparison to what it was doing before, which was basically jumping straight off the screen, right? And you see, that's perfect. Right. Now, what we could do is we could do exactly the same thing for the hotbar. And then that basically solves a problem, which is we don't need to handle it if we are on a menu, because basically the hotbar will be hidden and the menu buttons will be hidden, right? So the point is here, if we go to our hotbar, right, so if we go to hotbar and go to hotbar main, right, and this is it here, but this is not a very good reflection of it because we've obviously got all the buttons under here, right? Let's have a look at this, and you can see that's not going to really give us a good idea. Right? So if we go to here, well, actually, we'll say slide up, down. Okay. And we're looking for this vertical box. So what we'll do is we'll say V B, let's call it VB hotbar, eh? VB hotbar, right? And this, we're going to add a track, and it's going to be VB hotbar, right? And it's going to be transform, right? And we're going to do that and drag that up a bit. So we're looking at translation, and I think it's half a second, right? Right, now the only thing we're doing here is translating on the Y, so we can basically delete everything else but the Y, right, because we're not interested in anything else. Okay, so delete all that. Then if we click on this one, the value is 0, right? And then if we click on this one, we can change this value to, let's say, 1, but that's not enough. 5, 10, 200, right? And I don't think that's even enough, right? Because once we actually add the hotbar in, well, let's say it's 400, right? So we're going to save that, and then can we do keys on this, or do we have to do it regarding, right? Nah, we can't do it. Okay, fine. Right. So this is going to be custom event. So that's going to be show hot bar. Then we're going to add another one, and that's going to be hide hot bar. Right, so that's going to be play. We're going to say play animation forward, but I think these are the wrong way round, but we'll soon find out. Right. So we can basically do this whenever we show a menu, right? It's going to be play, reverse, right? So we save that, then we go back to here. Right, and ref hotbar, okay, then we say show hotbar, okay, then we say hide hotbar. Now this is this obviously ain't gonna come off the FE controller. It's gonna come up when you actually bring up a menu of some description, but I can just basically copy the code for here. Right. So basically, just give me 1 second. I can hit B, then B, B, and B. It seems to be that this is taking longer, so I'm guessing it's a second and this one's half a second. So we can check them. Right. So if we go to designer and it isn't, it's half a second. Even though we've got this bit here. Right, I don't know why this bit is here. It was like you could. Can we delete this? Undo that. It's like, right, this is a selection end, right? How do I delete that? Selection. Alright, so this is why it's so. Right, so if I've done this right, these should now be the same, kinda, right? There we go. I'm liking that. Okay, we're liking that. So the thing we'll do here is we're going to go to our FE controller, right? And we're going to custom event. And it's going to be hide menus, and then there's going to be another one, custom event, and it's going to be show menus. Now this is just relating to the these are just related to the hotbars and the main menu on the left hand side, okay? And basically what we're going to do is copy this, then we're going to paste it in here, right? And that's going to do that. Right? And if we do the inventory main menu, we do this, yeah, we do this first, just in case they try to sneak a little click in, right? And then we do well, we're going off the controller again, and we're going to say hide menus, right? And we'll straighten that up, right? And then what we'll do is copy this, and then when they click, this is a close, so this should actually be hide show. It should be show menus, right? Okay, and when they actually do this part, and we've got a weird bit of stuff going on here. So we're going to drag this down a bit. And we're going to say hide menus. Right, and we're going to save that. Now we'll try it. Right, so we'll come out the way a wee bit. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit our inventory button. And they're basically going the wrong way, which is fine. Right, that is kind of what I expected. Right, because they seemed like the wrong way around to me. And the reason it confused matters so much was because of the B button thing. Right? Which we're obviously not going to show anymore. But we'll get this sorted out. So this works like a champ. Save that. And now it actually makes sense what's going on. So if we press I, those disappear. We close, up they come. I, disappear, close, back they come. Beautiful. We like that a lot. Ah. So here isn't quite right. We shouldn't be able to HI. Alright, so basically we should do that for now. Okay. So that I don't think this is going to work. Well, we'll try it and we'll fix it, right? So if the player presses inventory, yeah, it doesn't do anything. Right, so we'll stop that. And this is what we want it to do if we press the inventory button. Right? So we go back to here. And first that's conveyor. So we need an e-game mode called inventory. Right, because I've just added those two lately because I had it in the button. Right, let's have a look at that. I set two of these up, which was this one. Right, and you'll notice that doesn't do anything either, but the rest of them do. Alright, so I set these two up, so we need these two game modes. Right. So let's have a look at this. And what's that doing? Set visibility, that's fine. Right. So, in theory, we need these buttons to actually do something. Okay. And it's not there. I believe they might actually be in here. Yep. So we can add inventory and new and trading. Save that. Okay. And now when we load these, game, right, and that's the button. So what we want is this. Right, so we're getting it from DT menu. Okay. And it's going to be in here. And we've got inventory and trading. So we might actually be okay there. Okay. So if we go into here, current game mode, right, that should be inventory, and that should be trading. Save that. And now when we go into here, you'll notice that we have an inventory, trading, etc., etc. Okay, now what I'm going to do under these circumstances, I'm going to pull this down a bit. And we are going to tidy this up at some point. We'll set this up in some way that's a bit tidier. Right, but for the moment, right, I think what we need to just do here is go paste. And this is the one for inventory, isn't it? Right, so we can save that. And now continue that. Okay. Just getting worried for a minute there. Okie dokie. So that's not doing anything, which is kinda awesome. So we'll add a breakpoint here and we'll try again and see what's actually going on. Right, inventory. Interesting. Okay. Stop that. If we go back to FE controller, this should actually start off as true and not false. Okay. Oh, look at that. I wonder if, well, wait a minute. That might be because, well, okay, right, we're trying it without this, right? There we go. Right. So now the thing we need to do is basically this one here, except it's the trading one. Now I don't know what that one's actually called. We're going to call it trading main. Now I obviously haven't set this up yet, but that's okay. And if you're enjoying the stream, hit the like and subscribe button, because we're about to end it there. Check out the description for you can join Discord, and if you want to support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon and also a link to my previous game on Steam. Even adding it to your wish list would help a lot. And we shall be back at 8 PM Central tonight, basically in 4 hours, and I hope you can join us then. So thank you for watching, and bye bye for now.